Very good. Hello, Hamza.
I
How
think
are you
we are
doing?
doing good, Dad. How are you doing?
I'm absolutely fine. What's the time in Vancouver, Canada now?
It is 9:04 p.m. over here.
9:04 p.m. and it's 9:04 a.m. here. So thank you for making me get up in the morning. I got up at 6 o'clock in the morning and sort of like showered up and everything, shaved and everything, so that I could have a talk with my son.
Yep, I'm excited. Thanks for doing this. I know you had to wake up early. I know it's kind of hard trying to fit in the different time zones together, but it's. I'm glad we made it happen.
No, that's fine. In case our my Wi-Fi gets stuck or something, you keep talking so that the people who are listening to this, so that they can sort of like don't get a lag in between. Although editing mein baad mein ho jayega, but then again, I mean, that's how. Yeah. All right, Hamza.
Okay.
So
Yep. So let's, I guess, let a few more people join for a couple more
yeah,
minutes.
there are about 10 people already joined in. So yeah.
That's good to know.
Yeah,
I'll just put this on my wall, and so that my network can join in as well. And we'll just be started in a moment.
Very good. So Hamza, so this is good. So a little bit of introduction to the viewers. How did we start up with this, and what came about that we started this idea about doing this together as a father-son talk?
Yeah. So I guess the idea started, I think, just thanks to the isolated times and during COVID, and I think it's also a way of, I think we decided because I don't see you as much, and I want to be more a part of your life. And there's so many amazing lessons I've learned from you. So why not just have this kind of intro father-son talk and see where that goes? And I think we've gone through a lot of amazing experiences together in our lives, from a lot of different travels to other experiences, and we have a very interesting relationship. And given your experience in coaching for the last 25 years, business coaching and change management and motivational speaking, I thought there's a lot of amazing nuggets that I have taken throughout my life through through the upbringing I've received from both you and Mom. So I thought, why not? It's time to pay it forward and bring this talk together. And it's going to be a more perfect time, I think.
No, that's fantastic, Hamza, and thank you for all these years of helping out. When you were talking about this, something just came to my mind. When we had just moved to Dubai back in the year 2000, so we used to go to the Marriott Hotel to set up our training rooms and everything, and you used to help us in setting up our training rooms and so on. Although you never were a part too much about the training, although you would frequently come in and out of our training programs too. But thanks for helping out throughout, and then also applying some of the things that you picked up from those things from Zaufi and I into your practical life. And mashallah, you're doing so well. Yeah, you make us so proud, Hamza. You make us so proud. You are the best. You're the best feather. You're the best feather in our cap, Hamza. It's so sweet, really. You're my biggest motivation, and you're my biggest motivation too. And I'm glad that you reach out. No, really, at times I've been down, in the year and a half that I've been back to Pakistan, trying to adjust to a different environment and so on and so forth, from a global arena of Dubai, operating in so many countries and so many cultures, and coming back to just one area, although Pakistan is a huge market and so on and so forth. But then again, but you, helped me to recover. Come on, Dad. Don't give up. You're not old yet, and so on and so forth. So you're my biggest motivation, Hamza. I swear to God, man. And so thank you. I know sometimes you are a self-motivated person, but sometimes I know you only call me just to motivate me because you know that it motivates me to motivate other people. So you ask me questions that would, in answering your questions and your challenges that you're facing in your life, motivates me also. Chalo, yaar, I'm doing something good, but I know deep inside that you are a self-motivated person, and you always sort of find things, even despite the turbulences, all these lives. You're what, 31 years old, mashallah, and the world is ahead of you. And for me, life. This is towards the end of my life chapters in my life, but then again, your life is ahead of you.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a good
Mm-hmm.
discussion. I'm so glad that we decided to do this, and we've been planning this for a
Mm-hmm.
long time now, about 2 months, I
Mm-hmm.
believe. Yeah, and we kept planning and we
Yeah.
kept having discussions and everything. So hence these pads that I wrote down, the questions, and you wrote down, and so on and so forth. So let's
Mm-hmm.
benefit as many people as possible. There are about 20
Yeah.
people online right now. So yeah. So
Sweet. Well, let's give a bit of
yeah.
that background. I think some of my friends and network is joining some of yours, but I would love to, introduce you and some of the things that you've done. So, you can maybe give me a bit of an intro about your experience and what you've been doing for the last 25 years, and just to give a bit of context to some of our viewers, if you don't mind.
Oh, I will. While I'm doing this, you can actually go live for your own broadcasting too,
Mm-hmm.
from your phone on your Facebook and stuff like this too. Yeah. All right. So you can do that now.
Mm-hmm.
Mom is like has
Perfect.
already done this. So, so you can create your
Will
own.
do.
You can share it from my Facebook.
Yep.
Have you?
Oh, yeah, I've already done
Yeah.
that. But I would also ask
Oh, you already done that.
our viewers. I ask our viewers as well if if someone who you think would benefit from this, and just say hi that you're here. And I like the wow face, so if anyone can hear me clearly, just put the wow face. Just know that you're here.
Yeah.
Make
Yeah.
sure
That's.
everyone can hear clearly.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, so just coming back to the concept, during one of the calls, a lot of there's been so much uncertainty out there these days, especially since the whole health crisis and everything else that's come into play. And there's been a lot of emotions around in the world right now. People are going through a lot of ups, a lot of downs through this time because you can't really see ahead more than a few weeks. So I was saying that during this time, there's a lot of uncertainty, and I've been going through my own emotions up and down during this time. And I would call you sometimes to, get some ideas, get some insight, get some aha moments from you. And that kind of fuels it. I'm like, these conversations are very interesting. I think it'd be nice to kind of do like a talk and see other people can get value from it, as we both are big fans of podcasting and listening. And, you've been in your public speaking space for 25 years. Inspiring so many amazing people. So that's where this idea came in. And let's see where it goes. It's one of my first times doing a live one for interview in this way. I've done before just like recorded ones. But so please just pace with me during this call. And yeah, hope to share some interesting conversations that we both are having.
No, absolutely fine. Yeah, yeah. And
Mm-hmm.
the way I see this is,
Mm-hmm.
this is the starting point of you already are a career coach. Like a little bit about your introduction also. Like before I give a
Mm-hmm.
little bit my introduction. What do you do, Hamza?
Sure. So I've done a lot of things. I'm doing a lot of different projects, but I got in the recruitment space about 3 years ago, a little over 3 years ago in tech recruitment. And I realized I found my biggest passion in helping other people find their purpose, like connecting them different opportunities, helping them to foster a better life. And through the recruitment, I kind of adopted or kind of came upon the role of a career coach because my main role is helping connecting people with opportunities. But at the same time, from your upbringing and all the lessons that you have shared with me, I felt like the coaching side was always in me. So I've kind of brought in the recruitment side of experience and now merge it with the career coaching, and that's something I found a lot of success in. So yeah, I talked to a lot of different people and helping hundreds and hundreds of people on a daily basis. Especially during COVID, I've adopted the more of the career coach role as I've been talking to so many people who have been laid off due to the COVID crisis. A lot of people whose companies have done furlough, who have been cut back, and a lot of people would reach out to me asking me about about job opportunities. And of course, there weren't as many jobs out there during this time compared to the number of candidates out there looking for qualified candidates looking for jobs. So I started adopting and really helping people in helping them with their on their career, what direction they like to take in their career, helping them with their resumes, their LinkedIn profiles, helping groom them to have better, grooming them to be better interviewers in a job setting. So career coaching is one of the main sides that I've been kind of focusing on lately, and it's been amazing so far. So yeah, that's some of the journeys. I'm also part of a few other startups that I'm consulting on, which I'll talk in the later episodes as well, which are very interesting. But yeah, that's a little bit about me. I moved to Canada about 8.5 years ago. I grew up in Dubai for most of my life, and born in Pakistan. And yeah, just kind of started my life here 8 years ago, and that's when it really took a turn in my life. And yeah, it's been an amazing journey since then.
Good.
Me in a little
See,
bit of a nutshell.
yeah, when mom and I used to be doing our motivational talks and everything in the last 25 years, it's been 25 years already, man. And you are 31 years old. So we started doing this when you were 6 years old. If you remember, we opened up our own company back in 1996 and so on and so forth. So over the years, people used to ask us, so are you husband wife team are doing this motivational speaking for people and helping out? So are your children also going to be motivational speakers? Because husband wife team looks like a family business and so on and so forth. And we used to say, yeah, they're also motivational speakers when you guys were very small. But I said, they're also motivational speakers, but they don't know that yet. And now, over a period of years, the way your life has unfolded, the way you have sort of gone into career coaching for the tech recruitments and so on and so forth. So people your age and people younger than you. And then sort of I'm so glad that
all
you're
agents.
doing. And then what I really like about your proactiveness, the way you are performing this job that you are doing, and Ignite is the organization that you're working for based out of Toronto or Vancouver, right?
Vancouver, yeah.
Yeah, Vancouver. So, not only do you help, the tech recruitment people to connect with new jobs and everything, but I've seen, and I've, over the years that you've been sharing, that you actually sometimes even take the candidate to the employer's, office for the interview. You do the grooming part, what to say, what not to say, body language, and so many things you are coaching them on. So you are a motivational speaker, and I think this is a perfect platform that that August 7th, 2020 is the official launching date when father and son are having a talk. And then my time is over, son. Your time is on. So
no, I still got a lot.
Oh, I see it this way. I'm 61 now, so but yeah. So mom is strong, Zofi is strong. She keeps me going, and you keep me going, and Amal and Miral, they keep me going. They're also motivational speakers. Your sisters are also I mean, in your own circle of friends, you always take the lead and the charge to help other people, and this is so good to hear, man. And this is ingrained within your personality and so on and so forth. So yeah.
Thank
so
you
what
for
questions
that.
do you have? So a little bit about my background for your people. I was a finance geek for about 12 years. British American Tobacco, Merrill Lynch in Singapore, Beacon House School System Director of Finance. And then 11 years into the job market, I decided I want to do something on my own, that I wanted to motivate people. And I wanted to equip, we came into the field of corporate training. And then 3-4 years, we were sort of in the Pakistani market. And then we moved to the international arena based out of Dubai. And then from there, we did training interventions for about 46 countries, and hardly any industry that we've not trained, hardly any culture we've not trained. So mom and I have been enjoying our journey of helping other people. And I'm so glad that you're also on this track of sort of devoting yourself unconditionally to other people's benefits. And this is very encouraging to know that we've been doing something right, at least. Yeah. I've done a lot of bad things and wrong things in my life, as my friends JJ is watching, and he would know, and so on. But then again, it all boils down to whether you are adding more value to other people, or whether you are sort of giving them energy or taking energy from them. So most of the people are sort of they need guidance, they need help, they need coaching. I also need coaching. I also need help, just like you do. So everybody needs help once in a while. And you never know, out of this talk, maybe 1 or 2 people will help them to change their life. And I think it's worth it for our times, and it's worth it for me to get up in the morning too apart from the fact that talking to you and recording this, so this is going down in archives, Hamza, that you and I are having a discussion. Yeah, I'm so excited about this, man.
Yeah, and we've gone through some amazing experiences in the last few years. I know we've all had our ups and downs, but we have a pretty progressive relationship. You've always encouraged me to travel the world, to go experience new things, never restricted me from doing anything. And that's what really helped me to adopt an open mindset, from the time you landed in Canada for my graduation and the first day you came, I took you bungee jumping. We went together as a family, which is an amazing experience. Traveling through the whole of British Columbia, 15,000 kilometers and showing you the whole province, you and the family, mom and everyone. To you ending up in Shambhala with me and experiencing that, which was also another experience at going to a music festival together.
Yeah. I was the oldest person at that festival, man. Yeah.
No, there's all ages there, but it's very interesting to kind of go with your own father, which is a pretty cool experience. And I am pretty blessed to be brought up with such an open upbringing and progressive upbringing such as that you have helped us. So I'm really grateful. So thanks for that.
No, thank you. Thank you for being our son, yaar. Come on, seriously. I mean, you are all my close friends say, how did Hamza, your son, turn out to be such a naked, Sharif and a decent chap? I said he went on the mom.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So coming back to our talk, so this topic, as the first one, we came to that idea that, how to stay motivated during uncertain times. I know a lot of people are going through all sorts of emotions these days with all what's happening in the news from everything in the world that's happening. There's a lot to absorb, and we're constantly on our phones and getting pushed by news and other agendas and other things, which makes us go through all sorts of emotions by looking at a news or some kind of thing that happened negatively in the world, and it impacts our own internal world. So, I thought it'd be a great topic because I think everyone can learn how to keep self-regulating themselves and staying motivated and keeping that inner flame alive during the good and bad times. So, so I thought it'd be good advice and I have a bit of a conversation on, what is how would you say, what is motivation and how would you say that, what is the success formula to motivation? Would you say?
Oh yeah, success formula. It's a very simple thing. This is not my own creation, although many of the content that I've talked about is. But I originally picked this up about 24 years ago, something known as the success formula. So what is the success formula? So see, success is not very complicated. I mean, without going into the aspects of what success is, because everybody's definition of success is different. For somebody, it's relationships. For somebody, it's financial. For somebody, it's traveling the whole world. For somebody, it's power, whatever it might be. But whatever that concept of success is in your mind, that's what we are talking about. So, so there are basically two ingredients for success. Number one is I must know what I want in my life. When I say want, we must have some kind of a goal or a North Star or a vision. What are some other names for want? Desire, ambition, dreams, mission, vision, objective, target. So all these sort of things are something in the future that we don't have, but we have a hope for achieving them. So that's number one, that we must know what we want. Majority of the people in this world don't know what they want. There was a research at Berkeley back in the 50s, and the graduating class, 50% of the people, they asked, and they sort of trained them in such a way that who had a very clear vision as to what they wanted in their life. And the 50% of the class was not asked, and they were not, but then they sort of followed both these paths, and they realized after about 30 years or so that the people who set out with a clear vision in their mind as to what they wanted to achieve by the end of their life, their chance, and they were much more successful than the people who did not have a goal in their life. So we're not just talking about goal setting here. I mean, that's very simple, but it all boils down to wanting. Now, the problem with wanting is in today's social media, there are so many manipulations going on by the media, by the brand developments and the advertising companies, that they sort of like inject us with these subliminal messages, and we don't we end up being confused as to what we really want in my life. So, like, you remember my friend Marinma? She's a dream coach who I met in Fiji when I went for Tony Robbins' seminar in Fiji in 2011. Yeah, this is about 9 years ago.
I remember her. Yeah.
So she helped me, and I think we're going to bring her on CaveTalk also one of these days. So she's actually a dream coach. So she helps people identify how to pin down. So she asked me for about my first 15 wants or my desires or my objectives or my dreams. And then she started questioning in the phase 2 of this exercise. Okay, between this and this, what would you choose? Between this and this, what would you choose? Fast forward, 2-3 hours of discussion, and we pinpointed my top 5 desires and my ambitions, which were the most important thing, without which my life will not be complete. In my own mind, psychologically speaking. Yeah. So to identify your dreams is a different channel. It's a different energy. So you have to detach yourself from the rest of the world and sort of like really brainstorm in your me time, in your meditations, and then talking to the right people, not talking to the wrong people. If you talk to a wrong person, he's going to give you wrong advice. It's better not to talk to anybody than to talk to the wrong person. And your best friends may or may not be the right people because their emotions are involved. Family members, definitely not. Why? Because their emotions are involved. They may know the right answers, but there are underlying hidden issues in the relationship that actually. So wanting something, coming back to the success formula, wanting something bad enough is a very, very important aspect. So we all think that bad enough. Like, I must have a desire, this restless energy, that if I don't get this, it's like a little kid. He's going to keep crying until he gets that sweets or toffees or the toy that he wants from his parents. He's not going to give up because he knows by crying or making an effort, he's going to get that thing. But then again, as we grow up, we get culturally conditioned with okay, don't behave yourself, don't do this, don't do that. So we sort of like contain. You remember the elephant, how they raise the elephant and sort of like tame the elephant. It's sort of like they crush their personalities and so on and so forth. And so, but then again, so people get confused in this issue. So number one is you must know what you want, and if that is not clear, nothing else is going to be clear in this life. So right now,
want something bad enough, being clear on what you truly want, and that's what brings the true motivation.
The true motivation, and that's what brings in the inner flame out more. So we cannot focus on the inner flame. Like, you recommended to me, there's a growth mindset group on Facebook. It's a closed group. And I've been watching people's responses there. Majority of the people's responses are the victim mentality responses. So they don't have really a growth mindset. What's a growth mindset? Like people asking, how can I learn motivation? What is the best book on motivation? What is the best way to sort of for me to improve my, overcome my fears? What is the best book to overcome my fears? You can't overcome your fears by just reading about it. You have to bloody well confront it head on.
Exactly. You have to face your fears. You have to face all of that.
And then also, we have to learn to dream. We have to learn to have set goals, and we have to think higher than our own self. My self-confidence as a child that grows up is already shattered. So how do I unlearn this cultural conditioning and recreate myself into the future? So this has to do with your dreams and focused dreams. So your North Star, your mountaintop has to be very clear. I'm not saying it has to be one thing or the other, because your actual purpose of life, which is going to be our next talk, I believe this is what you wanted, how to find your purpose in life. It's not about finding your purpose in life. It's about creating your purpose in life. It's about creating your
creating over finding.
Over finding. Finding means that it's lost. No, finding yourself is a wrong expression. What do you mean finding yourself? You were never lost. Yeah, you were never lost. So that psyche has to change. That internal dialogue has to change. Next ingredient. So most people don't know what they want, and the people who do know what they want, what is the next ingredient which helps them to achieve is the price they have to pay. So want
Price
plus
tag.
price. Want plus price is equal to success. Price. Let's define and zoom in into price. What is price? What are some other names for price? What do you think, Hamza? What are some other names for price?
What is the work, the effort, the effort you're willing to put to achieve that, basically, you know?
Very good. The
How
effort,
much time, effort, hours, whatever it is, the effort, basically. The work you're going to put in to achieving something.
It could be compromises, it could be sacrifices, it could be learning new skills, it could be unlearning. Unlearning is the biggest price that grown-ups have to face, that they cannot let go of the bad habits that they have accumulated over a period of time, which are difficult to let go. And those habits stand in their way for success. They have a desire to achieve something, but they don't know where to start. They don't know what is the next step. So the next step is to recreate your own habits, recreate your own thinking patterns, recreate your own self. So the price is, you're absolutely right, is the discipline, not the army discipline. The discipline.
The discipline, you're saying. I see.
Yeah.
So the price would be the discipline to achieve something.
So the want will give you the motivation. Want will give you the motivation, and the price is the discipline. So motivation and discipline, they go hand in hand. If you remember, this coin, motivation on one side.
Oh yeah, I remember that from your workshops.
And discipline from on the other side. So we always keep this coin in case we forget this important rule in life. Motivation and discipline go hand in hand. Motivation and discipline are two sides of the same coin. So the success formula, very simple, is I must know what I want, whether you're a group of people, you're an individual, that you want what you want to achieve. This has to be very clear. Without this, any small little obstacle will become a stop sign if my focus is not on the big peak. Imagine going to Mount Everest. Imagine going to K2. The small hills, for many people, if they don't have a focus of climbing the mountain peak, peak ko kya kehte hain? Yeah. So yeah,
summit.
But the summit. But if they get stuck in the small hills, into the small obstacles, they're never going to reach there. So if your focus is on the big peak, on the summit, these small little hills are only small obstacles. So they just come and go. So it's all about overcoming these obstacles in your life, just like you are overcoming those obstacles in your real life, living alone in Vancouver, making a life of your own, and adjusting yourself in a different culture. All these, for many people, is a culture. Is there conditioning that they are happening? So success formula would be, must know what you want, and you must know what price you need to pay. Must know what
want plus price equals success.
Want plus price equals success. What's your next question, son? Yeah.
So how does one get really clear about what they truly want, would you say?
Okay, things unfold also. So, but having some kind of a direction in the future done, that does not mean that you don't enjoy the journey. You enjoy the journey also, keeping your focus on it. And dreams do evolve. Like when I was your age, my motivations were different. Now, when I was 31, my motivation was different. Now I'm 61, 30 years fast forward, experiential learning, the slaps of life, the ups and downs of life, changes, exposure to different cultures, and so on and so forth. Now my motivations are totally different. Like, first it was to raise the family and so on and so forth. Now, mashallah, all you kids are sort of like grown up into your own areas of life and sort of like into your own journeys of life. And alhamdulillah. So that's there. How do you keep yourself motivated? That's a different question. So that has to do like, how to keep yourself motivated towards what your goals and dreams are. So I would say right now, anybody who's confused about what to do, things, make a bucket list. Make a bucket list. What's a bucket list? Like, before I hit the bucket, these are the things I want to achieve in my life. Without achieving these, my life will not be complete. All right. So that's very important.
So basically, getting clear about what you want. So just journaling a lot, writing down, reflecting truly on what the things is, jotting down all the things you want and experience and grow in this life. Another thing that I have personally benefited from and getting clear about what I want is any kind of a self-awareness practice, which is, I think, very important with every single person in this world, because we just do not practice enough self-awareness. We don't know ourselves enough. And every scripture, everything in every wisdom masters to teachers from the ages have talked about knowing yourself, so I think that's something that I've really learned is one of the few techniques, any self-awareness exercise. So it's very important to also develop that strong self-awareness to really get clear about what do I truly want out of my life. Meditation has really helped me in the past 3 years. I've done 3 years in a row without a single day. I've gone 1,000 days in a row. I've been meditating for 1,000 in a row, which has really helped me. So I guess that's really important to have the self-awareness to know what one truly wants and not be thinking that I want this because society programmed me to get this, not from like society conditioned me that need to get a job, make a lot of money, and get married by this age and have kids. Those are just societal rules that are just programmed. They're not really a real one. So I think it's about really getting clear about why do I want those things. So I think self-awareness is one of those areas. But coming back to price now, which is very interesting, which is the discipline part you were saying, how can one also foster that constant level of discipline in their life? I know I'm a very motivated person, for example, in my life. I can get myself motivated because I'm just a very curious person, but I sometimes do struggle with my own discipline in doing things, from staying consistent with those habits that should be good for me in the long term. But sometimes the short-term, releases, the dopamine dumps that I'm always seeking, comes in the way. So how does one keep consistent with their discipline? How can one bring discipline to their life, even if they're heavily motivated? First, I think that's it. Mm-hmm.
So it all boils down to our daily routine, our simple habits. So start with the mega vision or the mega direction. Like example, your vision is to become a motivational speaker at an international level. So this is a good motivation to have. Why do you want to do this? Not because of power, not because of money, because you enjoy doing this. So the reasons behind the goal are very important. If it's only to get a car or financial benefit and everything also, so this is very, very wishy-washy. So as soon as you are close to that goal, your motivation is going to die and fade away. So you gotta have goals, or it's a good goal to have a Ferrari example. But then again, as soon as you see that the Ferrari is now reachable and you can grab it, you pick up the goal post and you put it further. That's what successful people do. So they keep pushing themselves. It's not because of other people, but they keep pushing them. And yes, self-awareness is a very, very critical part. And self-awareness comes in both the aspects, in you trying to find out what you want in life, and then you also trying to pay the price. Okay, so this is what I want. This is where I am today. What steps do I need to take to reach to my levels of my vision that I want to reach? And then what price do I have to pay in the process? How do I have to change myself in the process? What habits have I been carrying for so long, which are not helping me anymore, which I need to let go? So we'll talk about habits in just a little while, how to replace those non-value adding activities into a value addition. Coming back to your question, so breaking down, let's say I got a mega vision, then I break it down to my yearly goal. By December 31st, what do I need? There has to be a deadline. A deadline without a deadline will be just wishful thinking. So what I need to do is set myself some kind of deadline. Now, deadline might be a very scary word for a lot of people because they don't want to commit. Why? Because once they commit and they don't do, their self-confidence goes down. Why? Because, hey, I tried, it didn't work. Oh, hello, you don't give up. If that goal is so strong in your mind, you don't give up. And let that goal drive you. That motive. So you keep visualizing. While your discipline is not there, while your price is not there, keep visualizing and keep that belief alive. So in your meditations, like you said, you keep focusing on that future vision where you want to be, and that will pull you like a magnet towards itself, and you don't need to worry about it because your personality will shape itself to form to reach there.
So the
So yeah,
end
and
goal,
then breaking it down,
basically.
yeah,
The end
or a
goal in
few end
mind.
goals,
Yeah, the
not
vision
just
of
one goal.
as you achieve it.
Yeah, in my opinion, having one goal is an imbalance. So you must have multiple goals, multiple dreams,
Yep, different
multiple
areas
North
of your
Stars,
life, basically, right?
different areas. Your health, relationships, your financial growth, your your
Physical,
own me time,
emotional,
your own
mental health.
emotional, your spiritual, your spirit. Yes, absolutely. All these sort of things. Helping other people. Helping other people is a strong desire that you have. You've grown up with this from your grandparents, and mom and I have been helping other people. So yeah, so that's a very strong motivation you have. Whenever you don't have the motivation for your own self, think about it for other people. Like example, sometimes in these past 31 years, I didn't feel like getting up and going to a seminar and motivating other people because maybe I was going through a down myself. But then, hey man, I need to get up. Why? Because there are other people I need to motivate. So when you think beyond your own self, it becomes much easier for you to be more disciplined. Yeah,
No, that is
yeah,
true. So getting clear about the vision and imagining almost like you already achieved it and seeing that and what would it feel like and carrying that basically throughout the times when you're feeling when you're feeling low or you're feeling the toughness during that time, everything seems hard. Just kind of bring back that state of what would it feel like as I've already achieved this, and bring that feeling into the moment now. And you almost kind of you go to the end goal, what would it feel like? And then the route to it automatically will be paced by that, as long as you have that end goal vision and you make your way back from that.
that's so true.
So
That's so,
yeah,
a-
it's awesome.
and also, one more thing. When we're talking about
Yeah.
motivation, one very simple concept is you take a weighing scale and you put internal motivation on one side and external motivation on the other side.
Oh yes, the locus of control,
The
the
locus of
Stoic
control, all
mindset, which is one of my favorite.
the stoic. What is the stoic mindset? Please elaborate.
Well, I see it as a growth mindset. Stoic mindset is something that it's been my fascination for the past few years, and it comes back to the same points that you're talking about. But I see it all linked together. And Stoic mindset means that we can't change what happens to us, but we can change the way we perceive it. We can change the way we react to something. So focusing on the things that are in our control versus focusing on things that are not in our control. So, that's different. So it also comes back to having that growth stoic mindset versus a victim mindset, there. So a stoic and saying, whatever is ahead of me, I'm going to power through it. I'm going to go through it because this is my goal and this is what I need to achieve, So that's what I feel like the story. I mean, a big fan of Marcus Aurelius's work, the Greek emperor, and his book Meditations really talks a lot about stoicism. Even Seneca is a great philosopher on that. But that's what made me realize through the tough times in my life and moved to Canada, to a new country, starting my life from scratch with no money in my pocket, moving to Vancouver and really trying to figure out a life here. And I think it was just that, I'm going to keep powering through no matter what, keep maintaining that positive attitude no matter what. Another one I would say was my experience, which I learned through my life, was knocking doors, going door to door for charity for almost a year when I just graduated and trying to find a job. But I think I was helping charity. So I'm like, it's all for a good cause. But, there is an experience of when you really learn about regulating your own mindset. If I would knock a door, if someone in the first door slams the door in my face and saying, get the hell out of here, I don't need you. If I was really impacted by that first door, would I be able to knock the next 80 doors after that? If I did not have that strong positive mindset, if I could maintain the mindset, staying motivated throughout, so I think that's one of the things I think is very important to have in this world, because life will keep knocking us down, we'll experience a lot of rejection in life, but it's about, it's a famous quote from Rocky, it's not how hard you can hit, but it's how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward, So that is what the Stoic mindset comes to me like, I feel.
That's awesome, Hamza. That's awesome. And
Yeah.
Cynthia is also saying this is awesome. Yeah, you're impressing a lot of people, Hamza. You're a born motivational speaker, man. You're a life coach, man.
Thanks.
But yeah,
I think it runs in the family.
Yeah, it runs in the family. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
coming back to the mindset you were talking about. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just want to complete what I was saying before. All the so the vision, long-term vision, medium-term vision, and then small-term vision, weekly plans, daily plans. What am I going to do today? So it has to trickle down to your daily routine. From the moment you get up in the morning or you sleep, what am I good? What is my number one thing or two things or three things that I'm going to achieve in my life? So that is very, very important. And every night before sleeping, I must do an examination and analysis in my own mind. What did I do fruitful today? What did I do?
Fruitful?
What did I do? Yeah. What is my good deed for the day?
Yeah. What are the wins of the day? What did I win at today? What did
exactly. Whether it was doing laundry, whether it was writing a paragraph or doing your journaling or helping somebody or cooking something new or learning a new skill or going to a new place. You bought yourself a bicycle the other day and you did what 40-50 kilometers. So that's something doing value. So so that so always have one thing or two things every day. Otherwise, what's going to happen? You're going to fall into a lazy pattern. Procrastination. Procrastination is the biggest evil that we all have in our lives. Now that's the enemy. The enemy is not on the outside. The enemy is on the inside.
Our own mind.
In our own mind. Yeah. So mindsets. So mindsets are very important.
Yeah. Exactly. So how does one get themselves out of that? When the things when it's hard. With the mindset, shifting into that positive mindset where things are going hard, and how do you move into that internal mindset than the external? Focusing on the things there, like coming back to the internal locus versus the external. As you were talking about earlier.
Yeah. See, there are two kinds of mindsets that we're talking about. Now, Carol came out with this mindset book called the growth mindset, the fixed mindset versus the growth mindset. Now,
yes, one of my favorite topics.
One of our favorite topics, and we've been discussing this on the phone for in the last few months. And then I've actually come up with some new content here for this discussion. Yeah, and that
please share it with us.
Yeah, and I'll share. I'll just give you a glimpse of this. I love writing with a pencil on a pad, and that's how my creative works. So,
could you explain what's on it? Because it's not so clear.
Yeah, I'll sort of read it out. I will read it out, but I just want them
to read it out.
Just a glimpse of what I've written. Yeah. So you see what motivates a fixed mindset person and what motivates a growth mindset person. So the fixed mindset person I'm calling the sheep, and the growth mindset person I'm calling the wolf.
Right. I like that.
All right. And so I've got about a page and a half written the differences between the two. So
interesting.
Let me sort of because it all comes down to the level of motivations that people sort of receive and sort of So let me come out the exit solo. Yeah. So a fixed mindset person will be motivated with what is known. And a growth mindset person will be motivated with the challenge of the unknown. So this is a very, very important detail that we need to think about. Next is the fixed mindset person will sort of will be motivated by safety, securing oneself, motivator, security. So that's a very prime motivator for a fixed mindset. Let me secure what I have. Let me not lose what I have. That's a very, very cheap mentality because things come and go.
Right.
Everything is transitionary. Whereas on the other side, the growth mindset person is motivated by taking risks, is a prime motivator. Challenging is a
Taking
motivator.
risks. Mm-hmm.
Taking risks is. The fixed mindset person again has more of a preventive approach. Things should not go wrong. So how can I prevent things from going wrong? So this is the prime motivation of securing themselves as to what they have. So
So
avoiding
expecting the worst and preparing for the worst instead of being optimistic about it, about
so
what could
making
happen,
efforts,
the
very
outcome.
good. The making efforts to avoid a catastrophe is a motivation. Whereas the
Mm-hmm.
growth mindset will have an adventurous spirit. They have an exploring spirit. Their inner
Like
childlike
that.
curiosity is a strong motivation. They don't care about securing themselves. They don't care about safety and security. They care about living their life to the fullest while they are still alive, because it is a miracle
Mm-hmm.
for us to be alive.
Yeah,
Why is it a miracle
it
for us to
is.
be alive? The miracle of life. All right. So
Mm-hmm.
maybe in one of those episodes we'll also go into the miracle of life, 300 million, and then you sort of like come out as a single. And the chances of us being alive today were not there. We beat the odds. Now that we are alive, are we making full use of that life, or are we sort of like stuck into the
Mm-hmm.
society and sort of like pasting this life into a sheep mentality? Every child that is
Yeah.
born can be a wolf mentality, but we make that wolf into a sheep with our
Mm-hmm.
upbringing and so on and so forth. Uh,
Put a
for
wolf
a
in
fixed,
sheep's clothes.
yeah, so so I have my own terminology to the fixed and growth mindset is the sheep and the wolf
Mm-hmm.
mentality. So in my opinion, you are we all have both in us. I have a sheep in me and I have a wolf
Mm-hmm.
in me. My
Right.
as long as my dominating personality is not that of a sheep. It's good to
Mm-hmm.
be a
Mm-hmm.
sheep sometimes. It's always been a combination between a sheep and a wolf. But then again, as long as the wolf stands out, and then that go-getter, that man the hunter, or that person the
Mm-hmm.
hunter, that alive,
Mm-hmm.
not just waiting for a victim mentality, waiting for things to
Mm-hmm.
happen, or blaming other people for the circumstances in which I am in today. So that is also there.
Mm-hmm.
So not losing for a fixed mindset is a strong motivation, whereas challenge motivates to prove self, not for others. This is for the growth mindset. The growth mindset is not there to impress other people. He or she is just
Mm-hmm.
living their life. They're just living their life because that is the way they want to live their life. Richard Branson is an
Right.
example, right? Okay, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then what's his name? Elon Musk is an example in current
Mm-hmm.
state. So people that we can look at as examples. They may not be complete individuals. Nobody's a complete individual. Nobody's a perfect individual. But then again, we want to see the dominating characteristics of people. Now, it is
Mm-hmm.
very, very difficult for a sheep mentality person for a longer period of time to convert himself or herself into a wolf mindset kind of a thing. For this, you
Mm-hmm.
really need to unlearn a lot. You really need to unlearn
Mm-hmm.
a lot. And by
But
living
it
in
is
society and
possible.
everything, it's not
Anything.
possible.
I think. I think it
For
is
sure
possible if a
possible.
person is dedicated and really wants to improve, and the want again coming from that want plus price. Come back to that formula that you talked about.
Bravo.
If we
Bravo.
can have
Yes.
that, then we can achieve and change and achieve anything. If you really want to move out of this victim mindset, that's there and move into growth mindset, you just have to want it enough and be willing to pay the price, the learning, the effort to make that switch and that commitment that has to be there.
Beautiful. Beautiful. And now,
Mm-hmm.
so let me complete this and then we'll have another discussion also. Huh?
Please go ahead.
The fixed mindset the fixed mindset is mostly stubborn with prefixed mindsets. So they are or
Mm-hmm.
they've already made up their mind about something, and it is very difficult to penetrate into those avenues in their mind. Why? Because those
Mm-hmm.
small little thoughts have become major highways in their minds. And
Mm-hmm.
any time a new input comes into their sensory senses, through all the five senses,
Mm-hmm.
some fear or some of their habits will sort of like pull them. Whereas the growth mindset is flexible to change and adapt. Now, flexible to change and adapt is not an easy one. How do I let go of the
Mm-hmm.
security things which I know, and how do I jump into the unknown? That's not an easy one to go. Another one
Be
is
adaptable,
fixed mindset
basically.
is more be adaptable. So another one is fixed mindset is mostly satisfied with what one has learned or experience so far. Okay, I've been there, done that, like I was saying, foolishly before, that my time is
Close-minded in
over and
that.
yeah. Whereas the growth mindset will have some restless energy and to constantly learn and unlearn. If they're not learning anything, if they're not making progress, so for them life is boring. So they need constant challenge to keep themselves motivated. So which is why they push themselves into the on the edge multiple times in their lives, and at times they fall down,
Right.
but they know how to get up. They know how to get up.
Yeah.
They don't wait for other people to they don't wait for other people to bring them up. They have their own self-correcting mechanism, their own motivational fuses. They surround themselves with enough motivational people, and they sort of have the right thoughts, have the right habits to bring themselves out. Another fixed mindset has little know-how, knowledge of the understanding of how the energy and the spirit works. Whereas the growth mindset person knows and circulates unwanted excess negative energy through regular physical activities and hobbies. So if I don't have physical activities, don't have hobbies or something, what's that gonna do? It's gonna make me into a fixed person. A fixed mindset
Just
person,
all that pent-up
hobby,
energy, not being used,
yeah.
that creative energy that we all have, and just the lack of it just kind of goes stagnant and limits
So
us.
yeah, another one is fixed mindset person will have limited hobbies, limited to a favorite ones, whereas a growth mindset person will have evolving hobbies and desires, and they keep changing. They realize. And the last one, which I wrote over here, that for a fixed mindset person, habits are mostly predictable. You can look at a person, if they have the same habits for the last
Right.
10 years, you know it for a fact that they are not going to change easily, and they don't accept change easily, and that they sort of have difficulty understanding any other paradigm or mind shifts which are totally in contradiction to what their mindsets are. But we need to remember one thing. Sorry, and for the growth mindset, the unpredictable, random responses and habits is very common. So erratic, random is not that bad.
Random, huh?
Random,
Yeah.
erratic, out of the box thinking. So that is
It's
what
like
is
a quick
required.
thinker on their feet, adaptable person to according to the environment and the situation around them.
Yeah, that's true. So coming back to that weighing scale of internal and external motivation, the way people are motivated. Some people are motivated with their internal reasons, and some people are motivated with external reasons. Like example, if I say Hamza, well done, excellent, you done. This is external motivation. But if Hamza says, hey man, I did something good today, raise your arm and pat yourself on the back, that's self appreciation, and that will help you to become your Tarzan that you are, inshallah. Yeah. All right. So, so coming back to internal motivation, external motivation. When I in my last 25 years that I've been, and this is something that Mom and I developed, and you know this, in all our training programs, we used to end it with our motivation module, and that works on this to bring people's focus onto their own reasons why they are motivated, and to start letting go of the external reasons why people get motivated. Now, salary is external, bonus is external, uh, somebody else's appreciation is external, criticism is external. So
Yeah.
all these external factors. So you got to build your internal. Now, people in all our training workshops, we always ask people so what do you think is the right answer? Like if motivation is 100%, and how much would you give to internal and external motivation over a span of a person's lifetime to assess whether a person has been successful or not? What are the reasons, internal or external? So majority of the people will say 60% internal, 70% internal, 80% internal. Some people will say 100% internal. But when it comes down to their actual life habits, as soon as somebody criticizes them, or they get a warning letter, or somebody hates them, their level of motivation comes down. So what they believe
So very
theoretically
little
is
internal.
different. Yeah. So what they believe philosophically is different from they actually practice in their life. So there is a disconnect with
Good
what
point.
people believe and what people do. So understanding, okay, yes, if I say that I am an internally motivated person, then I must have my own internal fuses and my own internal motivations, my own dreams, and so on and so forth.
Mm.
Then if somebody else comes and sabotages it, this means the dream and the want and the restless energy was not strong enough.
And we've given our power to the external instead of the internal.
So that's why there's a story about, there's this frog race going on. Yeah. So all these frogs are standing in a line, and they have to reach the mountain top, and all these big muscular Arnold Schwarzenegger types and Rambo's types are standing over there with big muscles, because they've been going to the gym. They can't even straighten their arms. They're walking like this. Yeah. So here they are standing there, and this one weak little fella is also standing there, a skinny little beep, and he's looking at the top of that mountain peak where he has to reach for that competition. And all these big muscular guys are making fun of the small little weak frog, and they say, "Oh, what are you going to be doing, man? You're not going to make it. You're not." So this is what external demotivation coming from other people. But this guy is very focused, and he's got his eye on the ball. He's got his eye on the mountain peak. All right. The race starts. There are people standing on the sides. Now they start calling out, "Come on, man! That's too far. You're not going to make it." Slowly, people start dropping out. Oh, there's a party going on here. Come on, let's do this. Come on, let's relax, and so on and so forth. So people who make more efforts, they get if they don't have that strong energy of reaching where they want to focus, they can get very easily distracted and lose out where they all started from, and hence their self-confidence will be affected next time they endeavor something. So they stop trying. So this small little fellow reaches the top. Now they call this small little frog and they say, "Okay, let's give him a trophy and a cup." And they have this mic, and thousands of frogs are watching and everything. Also, "Hey man, this weak little fellow beat all the strong little ones and all the strong big ones. How did you do it?" And they ask him, and the little frog doesn't reply. And they again ask him, "So how did you do it?" And he again doesn't reply. Eventually, it turns out they all realize that this small little frog is deaf and dumb. He can't hear. So, moral of the story is identify what your wants are, identify what your mountain peak is, identify what your wishes and your objective is, and then become deaf and dumb, and then just focus on that and go. If you go and talk to people about your goals and objectives, if they are not goal achievers, they are not the right people to be talking to. So so focus yourself onto your goals and then go for them with a laser focus. Remember laser focus.
Laser focus. Being clear about what you want and laser focus.
Laser focus is very important. Yeah. All right. And somebody likes my story. Yeah, Sadaf, thank you for liking my story. All right.
I like that story. It's very interesting. Thanks for sharing that. I don't think I've heard that one before.
I have another frog story. You want to listen to frog? Yeah.
Let's do that for the next time. I think it's don't want to go on too late, but coming back to it, how would you say, when the things are tough, when people are in a fixed mindset, there's so many things that are less bad, like circumstances also matters. People who are going through a tougher time and they might have lost their job, might be health reasons, might be impacted or other ways. How can those people who are really going through the tough times can really shift their mindset into that growth, open, motivated mindset? How to keep coming back to our topic, how does one stay motivated when things are tough again, during that time? Coming back to
very good question, Hamza. You remember when I was in Dubai, I went to Knowledge Village to take a class on photography, and then photography is my hobby, right? So I attended one class, and there's this professional photographer there, and he says to be able to become an international, global level, really above average photographer, you need to take 10,000 photographs. So in between, 10,000. When photographs, I would say the photograph's not turning out right, no problem. But this 10,000 benchmark stayed in my mind. And now I've taken more than 100,000 photographs, man. And this is what makes me a kick-ass photographer. Right, okay? So that's what... But yeah, So there will be downs. There will be people. I want to address this very important question from 2-3 different angles. Number one is practice, practice, practice was one, right? The other angle is if you get which which sort of like disappoints you or makes you fall, perhaps you were leaning against the wrong wall. So perhaps
I see.
Perhaps you need to realign your dreams and goal objectives. Why am I dependent on other people? Why am I dependent on other? Sorry, I'm gonna say. Why am I dependent on other motherfuckers to decide my fucking destiny, man? I need to have my own. I need to have
only you're living your life. Nobody else is living your life. So you have to take charge and responsibility for your own actions, your life, everything.
So when people come and ask me after my motivation seminars or everything, please tell me what should my motivation be? Please tell me what should my dream be? I said, I tell you what your dream should be.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. So coming and like recapping that, basically, it's about really, I mean, to really be motivated and be consistent with that, and recapping is to really identify what we truly want in our life. Someone is demotivated, going through a lot, so really identify your dreams and knowing how badly do we want it. Focusing on that want, and then getting clear about am I willing to put the effort and the price to achieve this goal, and that's what will bring that success. So, and that comes, and as you said, in other ways of calling that is the motivation plus discipline. That's really important. And the discipline is important because you find your reason for something to keep moving forward. So, and now, and once you kind of get clear on that, you have to start focusing on that internal motivation, because external motivation will only get you to a certain level, but you'll kind of hit that ceiling. But to be, I think, focusing on internal motivation will help you to stay through the whole path, and it's more consistent energy to keep you focused on your goals no matter what.
No, you're absolutely right.
And
so,
please go ahead.
No, carry on. Yeah.
No, so again, coming back. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. So motivation is cyclic. So motivation is cyclic, right? So if I am, So look at this. All right. So motivation is cyclic. If there is an up, there's going to be a down. If there's going to be a down, there's going to be up. So everybody goes through an up and down in life, just like the rhythms of life, the waves of life. Everything is cyclic. You know this for a fact that even the sun rays that come to our earth in 8 minutes don't come into a straight line. They come in waves to us. Everything is vibrations. You're the one who actually sort of like introduced me to the world of vibrations, and I think we need to have a talk on vibrations only.
Yep.
How can we attract those vibrations? But then, everything is vibration. So everything is up and down. So you can't expect everybody is motivated one constantly or one way down. No. Some days are diamonds, some days are stones. Every human being goes through ups and downs. So what is the difference between the successful and a non-successful people? Non-successful people stay here longer. Non-successful people stay here longer. Successful people bounce back up much faster. Who are these people? People who are motivated by external reasons, or people who are motivated by their own internal reasons?
Internally, because when you're at the lowest point, we need more of that.
Majority of the sheep mentality, majority of the sheep fixed mindset mentality, when they are feeling down, they want to be pampered. Somebody pick me up, please. I'm down. I am depressed. I don't know what to do. These are the sort of things that reach out to other people. Hello, develop enough motivational fuses, and also the capacity to absorb pain and displeasure, because pain and pleasure is a part of life. Maybe one of the talks we need to do is on the pain and pleasure concept alone. But how to pick myself up and how to stay motivated. This is the biggest challenge. Now, bringing down to the COVID, the whole world shut down because of COVID and lockdown. Everybody did not even expect this. So now it's about perfect opportunity. You got to pause. You got to sort of you got to break, intermission. It's like intermission in a movie, interval in a movie. It's time for you to go and grab your Coke and your popcorns and everything and enjoy your
In
life.
Bollywood
And then
movies.
all the recap. Yeah. Yeah, in Bollywood
Yeah.
movies.
So it's about it's intermission.
Even
Yeah,
if you
I totally agree. So it's I think
yeah,
it's
so it's
about
intermission. So now,
mhm.
yeah, so
Yeah,
now,
go.
now that it's over, now, almost over, so we need to recreate
Mhm.
ourselves with those internal motivations and not just external reasons. External reason
Mhm.
is,
Mhm.
all right, okay, well, like, being attracted to something temporarily and then going for it and finding out a void within yourself of something missing.
Hmm.
That something missing should not be for which has been injected in you or which has been fed on
Mhm.
you by Facebook or
Mhm.
or
Mhm.
by some social media or by some big data. You need to realize
Mhm.
that you are being fed based on your small whims and everything also. It's time to go
Yeah.
deeper into your desires and wants and dreams, and then sort of recultivate, re-nurture
Hmm.
your own self
Hmm.
once again. 2020 and
Hmm.
beyond. 2020 and
Mhm.
beyond.
Mhm.
So not a lot of people
Totally.
will come out as wolf from this COVID. Not a lot of people will come out
Mhm.
as majority will be sheep, and they will need wolves like you, Hamza. They will need wolves like you to help them and guide them and to be a messiah or to be a prophet or to sort of like help them out. Like
Well, not to that
I'm
level,
using
but
strong.
definitely helping people shift into that different mindset
Why
from
not?
that victim
Why
mindset to
not?
the growth
It all
mindset.
yeah. So it all
Mhm.
begins with your own vision as to what you really want to achieve. Yeah.
Mhm.
So
No, it's
so
true.
that's
So,
it.
mhm.
Yeah.
So
So any
yeah,
more
so I think
questions?
that's I think we have gone through a lot of the amazing points, and going through that, so we can kind of focus on wrapping. But I think that last minute thing, what would you say through your years of experience in 25 years in training, coaching, and motivating tens of thousands of people by now? You've gone through a lot of training since I'm a kid. What would you say is the three biggest things you learned on motivation in those times from talking to and helping so many people, from that?
Oh, that's a good one. I wish you had sent me this before, so I would have prepared my answer. So the top three reasons for
Yeah.
uh, okay.
Just on the top of your
Like
head. You don't have to go too deep in it. I'm just curious because I just came up, You've talked to a lot of people in your life
well,
and helped a lot of people in so many countries.
yeah, yeah. My heart cries. Thank you for asking this question. My heart cries for people who sort of who limit themselves for their own progress. Their own phobias are the biggest constraint to their level of motivation. If I am
Hmm.
afraid of dogs, if I'm afraid of lizards, if I'm afraid of cockroaches, if I'm afraid of other things, small little things which sort of like I need to be brave about because hey, I'm a human being. I am the most dangerous species on earth. So if I'm in the jungle at night, and I do spend a lot of nights in the jungle, sometimes meditating and so on and so forth, especially on a full moon night, and all the locals over here, aren't you afraid that if something comes up at night?
Hmm.
I said, at night, I am the most dangerous species in the jungle,
Hmm.
right? So
Yeah.
yeah, one needs to expand their level of fears
Hmm.
expand the level of risk taking to curtail
Hmm.
their fears more. So they need to overcome their fears because their phobias are the first step, which is actually impacting their level of motivation. I'm like
Hmm.
example, if somebody is losing their hair, so many people do you well, yeah, and they will have their hair from drawn from one side to the other because they
Hmm.
want to hide this. Why? Because they feel shame because we belong to a shame
Hmm.
culture and
Hmm.
anthropologically so yeah, shame culture. And I say to them, confront your
Hmm.
fears. I say, how? I said, no, shave off your bloody head. Shave off your bloody head. Face it. So what if people will call you a bald headed person or whatever it might be or
Hmm.
something? Face it. If you're afraid of the dark, go in the dark. If you're afraid of whatever it might be of public speaking, go speak in public. Whatever you are afraid of, when you counter, Batman would not have been Batman if he had not faced his fears of. He was afraid of bats, right? So he goes down to the cave, and where thousands and thousands of caves, bats are there. So that's how he overcame his fear of and became Batman. Well, this is just a story, but I'm just saying. But you got to confront your fears. Level of motivation. Level of motivation. Do what you fear, Justin. Very well said. And then also find your internal motivation. Don't just sort of be manipulated by the system. Create your own bucket list, and then go for it, like that frog, and then focusing on them. While you're doing this, I also want to give you one more thing, which is what I wrote down. How can we enjoy the life to the fullest? How can we enjoy the life to the fullest? That's what it all boils down to. Whether we are successful or not, or whether we have money or relationships or not, and blah blah blah, and so many things. How can we enjoy this journey of life? Because it's going to be over soon, man. The sooner we know. Nobody ever lived forever. Neither are we going to live forever. And then sort of so how can we enjoy it? You must travel more. You must see this world more. And which is what I'm so glad that you sort of do travel a lot. Exposure, learn different cultures. What is the life? I was born in this shell and I remained here all my life. And I did not see this beautiful world from different angles. Only through movies I saw what kind of a life is this, man. This is no life. This is a sheep mentality. A wolf will travel. A wolf will travel and make friends and change hats in adjusting himself or herself in different. So that's important. Hobbies. You must have hobbies. You need to cultivate your hobbies. What do you enjoy doing? What do you enjoy doing? Live as if every day is the last day. And then also
I like that point side.
Yoga and meditation is very, very, very important. It's like make or break. Yes, I am so, Zaufyshan, I am so proud that you have completed non-stop every day 1,000 hours of meditation on you started with Headspace. So guys, download Headspace. Headspace is an app.
Headspace or Calm, there's some good applications. I highly recommend getting that started, because it all comes down to self-awareness in the end. We cannot be motivated if we don't know what we truly want. And a lot of us don't know what we truly want. So just focusing on identifying your dreams by raising your self-awareness, so you can really get clear about what you truly want. And then once you get clear on your want, focusing on the price you're willing to pay, and that will help you to succeed. So some really good points, Dad. I really appreciate you sharing all this stuff with me and all the people listening. And some really good points, focusing on the internal motivation versus external motivation, the want plus price equals success, and how motivation and discipline equals to that success that's needed, So a lot of amazing topics, and, I don't want to go on too late this time. So, let's try wrapping up. But, coming back to it, we'll be doing more talks coming up on CaveTalk with my dad. The next one we're going to be doing is purpose, building and creating your purpose at work, where I'll be sharing some strategies from my own career coaching side and recruitment experience by hiring for multinationals across Canada and USA. And, some of the things I've learned by talking to so many job seekers out there, and it all comes down to purpose again. So that's one of the next topics we'll be talking on. Other than that, is anything else you'd like to add to close off, Dad?
No, that's it. I'm so glad that you spoke so well, Hamza. So bravo, excellent, man.
Thank you. You did as well. I appreciate it. It's a good first one.
I spoke from my heart. I basically left you messages that long after I'm gone, you'll be looking at this video that every time you're feeling down or something, so you'll at least remember your dad's words. Plan for the next. Shumail is plan for the next. We are planning for the next one. Maybe we should do a talk, father-son talk every week. Yeah.
Yeah, it's something we could possibly do, and see a week or bi-weekly something. I think there's a lot we can share. So I'd really thank everyone for listening and taking the time to listen in today. And if you like it, just please put in the comments if you like some more content like that. It really motivates us to start creating more content. And this is just the first one, so this is more like kind of warming up to it. But we are pretty motivated people, so we have a lot of stuff to share, and I'm excited about this new journey.
No, thank you. Thanks a lot, guys. And thank you for
Yeah.
watching. Yeah, we've been doing this
Mm-hmm.
for over an hour now. So this was good, Hamza.
Yeah.
I don't feel like cutting off, man. I feel like just talking to you, man.
I agree. It can be, and we will have some more talks in the future. So thanks and appreciate your time, and have a good night, good day. It's more evening for me, and we'll be creating more stuff.
Yeah. And JJ says we need to hear more from the son. Dad monopolizes as always, which is very true. So Hamza, I am Zip. JJ, you're absolutely right. Yeah. Thank you, JJ. I
Yeah.
love you also. Yeah.
No, it's fine.
So
I think this is more like talking and getting your insights. So next one, I have a lot of different content to share. So, stay tuned, guys. And thanks again for everything. And, look forward to the next talk.
yeah, look forward to the next talk. And so meanwhile, keep that inner flame alive. This was pick up one thing. What is the one thing you picked up from this talk? It was a bit haphazard, our first talk. And then do give us a feedback as to how we can improve this father-son talk as a part of our Cave Talk series. What are the topics that people would like to listen to? What are the topics that you would like to listen to? And or have a discussion, and we can have a live discussion someday also. And perhaps even do this on Zoom and have more of an engaging session. Multiple people on board too. We can also do this, So
that's definitely in that.
The challenges that people are facing and so on, so forth, address real concerns for people. All right, son. Well, thank you, Hamza.
All the best, Dad. Have a good one. Have a good day, and stay in touch. And we'll chat soon on that. Take care. And next time there'll be one with my mom. Next one will be with my mom as well coming up. So there's going to be a mother-son talk also coming up. So stay tuned for that, and it's going to be a bit different as well. So stay tuned and have a good day, everyone, and take care.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.